Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case, we break the cage. Dog by dog, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I know this is an unusual time for me to be live, but I had a conflict with my schedule, so I'm going live now. And I am so glad that every single one of you that has your notifications on are here, because this is what we are here for, right? And I know there's going to be probably just a small, intimate amount of people here, which is kind of nice. I know I have my mods here. Thank you, Caleb, for being here. If Les and Amanda are free, they're going to jump on in. But let me just say this. This stream is going to blow you freaking away. And before I get started, and I know I haven't played the video, I'm going to play the video for you when we get started to talk about the Idaho 4 case. So, I've been doing this kind of like speed round questions, kind of just to get, acquainted. Do you guys like those? Are you like digging that? If not, I could probably throw something else in there, but I'm really enjoying them, getting to know you folks. So without further ado, I just want to thank everyone for being here this morning. And I've got a speed round for you. These are pretty good since we're going to be talking about the Idaho 4. How about we do a speed round of questions with the Idaho 4? And I'll start with the first one because this is going to get good. All right. Here we go. This is rapid fire, high impact speed round questions about missing or suppressed evidence in the Idaho 4 investigation? 1. Where's the actual murder weapon? Drop your answer. Drop your answer. 2. How many unknown DNA were found in the 1122 King Road house? Drop your answer. 3. Were the roommates' phone records sealed? Where are the Wi-Fi router logs? I know some of you are like, what? Oh my gosh. Where's the autopsy details? And what's the missing pieces of information that we have maybe overlooked or haven't uncovered? Where is that information? Get ready. You guys are going to drop to your knees like I did when I finally figured out what is really going on in this case. You know, the other day I said, you don't necessarily have to be the first. You don't necessarily have to know it all, but you need to know where to find it. And I think we found it. And I think it's safe to say that this cold case may be solved yet. This case needs to be reopened. So let me welcome you all in. Dina, welcome in. Rebecca, hello. Caleb, you are early. You are on time early. It's better to be early because that is actually on time. No talkie before coffee. Good morning. Donna Rosa, good morning, beautiful people. Kay Kaz girl, buenos dias, señorita. Jennifer, welcome into the house. Shirley Donovan, North Georgia Crime Time, hello. Lulu Bell, hello, good morning. Wow, an early drop off of more information. Amazing information. You guys will want to write this on your calendar. November 20th, 2025 was the day we found out. Good morning, everyone. KRW, I'm wired. Hello. Okay, so here is some answers. Is there a new one? Who the hell knows? Which one? Unknown. 444 DNAs. NemPD never logged it in. 3, 5, 4, 3. I believe it's 3. From what we've been told, who knows? It could be wrong. Y'all answered yes and sealed to that. Damn, she started early while I was working. Hey, all. Well, it's good that you are here. Absolutely good that you are here. Good question, sealed. Where are they? Yes, where are they? Disappeared, missing, sealed, SG's trunk, Mavitt, shrugging shoulders. Yes, outer space is a great one. In the FBI hand, sealed, on the moon, which I believe we never went to. It's magic. It just disappeared. It's missing. Houdini Kohberger made it disappear. Yes, let's my speed mines work. Get ready, y'all. I'm sorry I'm late and better late than never. Phoenix bombshells coming. Fireball. Missing knife is with gun. I probably would have to say probably. Love y'all. I'm at work. I love you too. Let's go. Yes, 99 years. Reposting live now. Thank you so much, Caleb. Sorry I am late. Love all you do. Well, we are thankful for you, Beth, and thankful for that amazing donation gift. I appreciate you. And, you don't have to donate because you're here. You donate out of Thanksgiving and the wanting to donate for what we do. I am not backed by any agency. I am independent, and I'm going to bring you the raw, real facts, the truth with evidence, and that's what I'm here to do. The answers are locked away with MPD. What if I told you they gave us the answers? They just didn't think anyone would read what they gave us and decipher it. See, because not a lot of people can read all this shit, understand all this. You had to be watching and listening to the hearings and reading the court documents and doing everything possible to understand this case. They could lie to your face, but you know what never lies? And I've said this all the time I share this document with. DNA evidence never lies. People lie. Evidence does not lie. Hi, Caleb. Wanted to be my friend. Amy, welcome in. It's in sealed documents. It's What if I told you it's not in the sealed documents? What if I told you it was in the document drop that I asked for, that they gave everybody in the forensic details? They gave us pictures of the knife sheath just like I asked. They gave us a chain of custody just like I asked. And of course, that chain of custody was broken. We see that. They lied about everything. Miss Conway, has anyone know how Critic Rick is doing? I haven't seen him. I saw him in Birdie the other day. And speaking of Birdie, I will be live with him on Tuesday next week, and that will be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So Birdie, and how did that come about? Well, a lot of people, yeah, we're sick of the lies too, Beth. Hey, Amanda B. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you're at. Nona, Robin, good morning. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people have said, you, all info in the docs but redacted. Yep, it is redacted. What we are looking for, that needle in the haystack, was unredacted. But what I said before is a lot of people were like, oh, you're not with Birdie. You guys aren't together anymore. No, let me reiterate. Okay. March through August, my schedule was not that busy. The time change didn't affect me. I live in, Arizona. And basically, the time here never changes for me. Okay. We are fortunate that it never changes. It changes around us. So when the time change happened, I had all summer, all that time. And when the time change happened, I always put my family first. I work my schedule around my family's schedule. And I've always been that way. My family, my faith, my family comes first, and then what I do. And everything else just flows that way. My husband understands why I do that. I understand why I do that. Some people don't understand. So for all of you that were in with Birdie and I, who transitioned from TikTok over to YouTube primarily, we were too restricted. We couldn't talk about certain things. So when we made that transition, and with the time change, and with my family needs changing, and with schedules and having to work around that, I told Birdie, and Birdie and I both agreed that, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for me was not a good time. That was my family time. And once in a while, I'll come in and we can do a collab. So with that being said, that's how we started, and we grew super fast, which I'm so thankful for. But I was at a point where he says, you go live, but you're not going live in person. I said, I do videos and this and that. And I really feel that if I'm live and you can see me, I get distracted easy. And here I can focus. I'm just talking in the microphone. I could sit here in my pajamas with my hair up in a towel. I just got out of the shower. I mean, think about it, guys. You don't have to physically, I could wear a hat all the time like some other creators and not do my hair or makeup or put some filter on. But why do that and be so fake when you can just hear my voice? You know it's me. You can watch my videos. You can see it's me. But this gives me the ability to focus on exactly what I'm talking about, not having to worry about my hair and all that other stuff. So with that being said, I did a video yesterday on the streets of TikTok. If you haven't seen it, I was going to do an AI video, but yet I found a video and I'm going to share that with you because I think this is too hilarious. So, and I tagged Birdie and I said, immediately he says, let's go live. And it was a funny chat that we had. So I'm going to play that video for you right now. And then we're going to get started because I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm trying to keep it light because the subject that we are going to talk about is pretty deep, right? Pretty deep, 100% deep. So here is the video that I tagged Birdie in yesterday. You guys are going
I'm telling you. So have you, right there? Government spy. I'm telling you.
foil all over the freaking car. And that he was referred to my husband. He asked me why uh uh I have stopped hanging out with, and I crossed out Bernie, if you guys saw that. He asked why I stopped hanging out with Bernie. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I did tag Bertie, and Bertie sent me a message right away. Let's go live. Pick not Monday or Wednesday. I said Tuesday, and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time we'll be live back together. You know, I like Bertie. He's amazing. He's not that much of a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy realist, and that's what I told him in the beginning. I don't just think of the abstract, I question the unthinkable, and I look into the facts and logic, and I am a conspiracy realist. And that's how Bertie and I started our amazing journey together, which I am so thankful and appreciative of. I mean, I had a following on TikTok already. I think I'm at, let's say, 37,000 or something like that. And yeah, I'm at 37. And, you know, I've had cases that I've covered with over 1 million views, 100K views. I mean, just crazy. And I've got a whole playlist, and most of that may not be over here, but I mean, this is not the first case I've covered. And this is kind of like a simple, I've always been interested in true crime, even when I was actually just working for a and with a private investigator in North Carolina while I was in nursing school. It was a good outlet for me to get started in that area, make a few bucks, pay for my school, my college books that were so freaking expensive. If you know, nursing books are not cheap. And that's how I got started. So let me just share this with you real quick. What are we going to be talking about? We are going to be talking about the missing DNA results. Idaho State Police gave us the answers. And a lot of people have overlooked those answers, and we are here to decipher them today. Now, there was a lot of information in the beginning that, oh my God, Showalter did this. A lot of people were like, hoodie guy, hoodie guy, hoodie guy. I showed you a clip the other day that basically said, nope, he was not involved. He was clear very fast. And Kohberger. Did I say his name wrong? Did I just say his name wrong? Cole Behringberg and John Showalter. Very interesting two individuals. I've talked about them before. I will talk about them in the past. My disclaimer is up. We are not here to harass, threaten, libel, slander anyone. We are of the own thought process that we can think and choose what we want. And honestly, we've come to this point in time where DNA forensic evidence is in these documents. Now, there are approximately 50 people here. This is not my normal time to go live, but I will say, this is going to be probably an intimate stream that will blow up the freaking internet. And when I say that, I mean it, because there's going to be some massive bombshells. And I'll just stop talking about it. We'll just start looking at the evidence. Idaho State Police Forensic Services is one of the top ranked forensic services. And they have a special division. Not only were detectives on the scene marking and collecting evidence, but they had their ISP FSC services come in and mark more markers that were missed. And yes, Hallie, we are even live right now. We are definitely live. Glad you can join us. A lot of people say, "Oh, I missed you. I missed you live." Now, do me a favor. If you are watching this, I don't even care if you don't enjoy the content. If you are here watching, hit the thumbs up button. And thank you, every single one of you that reminds everyone to hit that button. It actually helps the algorithm go out and say, hey, we are actually live and you don't want to miss this information we're sharing. So 16 of you, I thank you very deeply. And I know the other 40 something of you will hit that. The CIA created the term conspiracy theorist to discredit legit witnesses. Well, like I said, I am a conspiracy realist. I look at the conspiracy, I match it up to the logic and evidence, and find what's missing. And here it is. So, what do you say? And like I've said before, Phoenix Talks. I am Phoenix, your host. And here's where we rise above assumptions and forget all the rumors. We stay curious, asking questions, especially the unthinkable. And we do that with open minds. Every question matters. Every angle is welcome. We're not going to discriminate. We're not going to throw you out. Now, if you're going to be a troll, then just be quiet. That's the best way to troll. And nothing is off limits here. This is Phoenix Talks, where we spark the fire of curiosity.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
And why, yes, Beth, I will blow it up. I just love it when you guys give me the opportunity to what I was going into next. Okay, so we're going to dive into the unmasking process. What's missing? What are we not getting? What are we not understanding here? How could this have happened? And yes, folks, it can happen to anyone. It can happen to you or a loved one. But we're not laughing because this happened to Kohberger. We are actually starting to understand why Ann Taylor continually said that Brian Kohberger was factually innocent. And if Brian Kohberger is factually innocent, what are we missing? I mean, honestly, we're here to ask a brutal question. What happens when evidence that could prove someone is innocent is freaking hidden? What happens? I'm not talking about the lost paper clips from missing forms or documents. I'm talking about DNA, videos, statements, timelines, the missing things that could set someone free, and they never, ever see daylight. I sure hope y'all are following what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm not very straightforward. I have a filter sometimes, but when I get spicy and hot, it's going to come out. If you're the kind of person who believes truth should win over politics, narratives, or ego, you're in the right place at the right time. Welcome home. Now, type truth. I want you to type out truth in the chat if you believe all the evidence, good or bad, should be on the table. Type truth. I'm going to do it myself. TRUTH. Truth. Now, do me a favor. I want you to type a 1 if you think this happens rarely. And type a 2 if you think it happens a lot. If the truth, good or bad, should be on the table. I don't think we're missing anything. We believe in the corruption. I agree. I totally agree. But how can we prove it? We can say it all day long unless we can prove it. And this is what I'm going to show you. What was or what is innocent evidence? I know it's powerful language. Lawyers call it exculpatory evidence. I'm going to call it innocent evidence for just right now. Okay? Examples like DNA that excludes the defendant, Kohberger, like we've seen. A witness that backs up the alibi, which we've never seen if he had a witness that had an alibi for him. A camera that shows someone else near the scene and not Kohberger. Cell phone data showing they were somewhere else, which we've never seen. Okay. Now, how about this? How about this? Lab results that say this doesn't match the suspect, which we've seen. Now, I'm not going to type truth. I want to understand why you have a thumbnail of Hunter and Cole. Are they the two individuals you consider suspects? Not the ones that I consider suspects. However, in the documents I'm about to show you, they were considered suspects. But I'm also going to connect it and I'm going to show you what was hidden so that you can see for yourself the factual truth in the forensic documents. See, here's the thing. You may want to read the disclaimer and you may want to understand that we are not here to harm anyone. We're here asking questions that law enforcement never answered for us. They got in a post conference with Brian Kohberger on plea day and the sentencing hearing, and they never linked him to these crimes. They never linked him to stalking. They never had any known evidence, no DNA, and they didn't even have anything on him. They tried to link him as much as they could, and they just couldn't. And Haley, I see that you just made your account this month, and I don't know who you are, but like I've always requested very respectfully, if you are a troll, please troll on and troll on quietly. You will not disrupt my live, or I'll just have to simply block you. Like I said, I respect everybody's opinion. And I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying because I put your question up on the screen, I don't ignore anyone. But I just don't appreciate it because now I'm going to try to focus on what I need to. So when I say innocence evidence is any information that makes it more likely the person didn't do it, that's what we're talking about. What do you think the strongest type of innocent evidence, DNA video, or alibi witness? What is the strongest type of innocence? Is it DNA, video, or alibi witness? You can drop it in the chat. I would say it's probably DNA. Witnesses can lie. Videos can be manipulated, but DNA does not lie, in my humble opinion. And let's be kind to one another in the chat, okay? I firmly believe everyone has the right to their own opinion, but I do know there are certain people that are following me that are shaking in their boots right now because this case needs to be reopened. So, I want to introduce something to you that you may have heard before but never might have understood. The Brady Rule is the law that should protect us as citizens. And I'll introduce it to you without getting too legal. So there's a Supreme Court case called Brady versus Maryland. Brady basically says if the prosecution has evidence that could help the defense, they need to share it, period. It's the law. That includes anything showing someone else may have done it anything that weakens the state's evidence, anything that helps the defense's story. In plain English, Brady is supposed to be the rule that says you're not allowed to play hide and seek with the truth. Have you ever heard of a Brady violation before? Before I just explained it? You can type yes or no. And I see a lot of people say DNA. DNA, 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 DNA doesn't lie. I've always said that. And yes, that is the Brady law. Perfect. With perfect. Yep. People have heard about it before. Do you think, honestly, and you can type yes or no, you can put 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you think the rule like this is enough to stop abuse? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I don't think so. I think we still see corruption. I think we see abuse. I think we see that, period. All right, you're disrupting the chat, Haley, and I do apologize with my whole heart, but we can't have disruptions here, so goodbye. All right, so now, how does evidence even get hidden? I'm going to tell you how. It's called, number 1, selective reporting. A lab tests 10 items and only 1 item points towards the state suspect. Guess which ones end up front and center in the report? The exclusions get buried and never highlighted. Amanda, I banned her. She's gone. She's gone. She'll be held accountable for bullying people and doing exactly what I asked her not to do. So, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Okay, so when you think about another thing, here's the methods. They don't write anything down. A witness says he wasn't there that night and they exclude it. They forget to put it in the report. Okay. Another one is the labeling of not relevant or not valuable, not profitable information. DNA from an unknown person. Instead of asking whose it is, they just says it's not relevant to our theory or they don't test. And I'm going to show you that. It's crazy. Late disclosure, dumping evidence, or tons of miscellaneous, unrelatable evidence that they call evidence to the defense right before trial, or tons of data, tons of videos, and the judge excludes it because it's either late or the truth is technically hidden without anyone saying those words. Or physical destruction. It gets tossed. Notes get thrown away. Body cams aren't saved. Data isn't saved. Photos disappear from an error system. DNA gets wiped clean from a fridge that got destroyed or unplugged or broken. Once it's gone, it is gone. It's gone. Now, what method did I just say that you think is the most sneakiest in regards to DNA results? Is it reports, not relevant, late dumping information, or destroyed evidence? Missing destroyed evidence would be my answer, because that's what we're here talking about. And that includes, yes, Gwen, even the house. Even the house. Listening to Phoenix in my headphones while I'm at the gym. Who needs a pre-workout? I had my coffee before talkie. And why would anyone want to even hide evidence? It protects the state's theory. Once they pick their person, everything that doesn't fit, it starts to look like a problem instead of a clue. What the hell is Phoenix talking about? Let me show you. Let's get into this. I am going to show you a few documents that are going to blow you freaking away. And then you can say, okay, Phoenix, we get it. Everyone out there in the crime community will begin scouring for what I just found and I have been talking about for some time. And then you can actually say, okay, we get it. We freaking get it. So I'm going to bring up the evidence forensic documents, and then y'all can go scan them yourself. And I'm going to bring up the state's exhibit first. And I'm going to share this with you. And we're going to go through a live exercise dig together. How about that? Let's do it. Let's do this. Now I'm having internet problems, just like randomly. I wonder if they hire people to do this shit. All right, folks, we're going to start with lab item number 3. Hopefully you can see that large enough. Yep. Okay, let's do it. Who says we just go ahead and just blow this away? Here we go.
I'm dropping truth like a flame, burning through the lies, never playing the same. Fireball, spit heat, watch the sparks ignite. 10 seconds of real, light up the night.
All right, here we go. Had to throw that one in there. All right, now I'm going to start with lab item number 3, which I have 3 documents to reference, to cross-reference, and to share. Hopefully y'all can see that. So State's Exhibit 484 is actually Moscow Police Department item 259. So let's go to Moscow Police Department real quick and let's look up item 259. What is item 259? 259 is out of order, by the way. Here it is. It is DNA. Hold that thought. 259 is DNA. We're going back over to the exhibit, and it says DNA extracts of 2 people. And who are those 2 people? John Showalter and Cole Beringberg. Jack on the left, Cole on the right. Does everybody see that? All right. So here we go. So I'm going to go over to the forensic document that was released, and I'm going to ask for lab item 3, and we'll do this exercise together. I did a control find, lab item 3. Let's see what it brings up. Item 3. Here we go. Item 3 was, remember, DNA extracts. And that was a submitted swab from F2 bedroom floor. F2, well, what was F2? That had to have been a marker. Or it was actually Xana's room. F2, bedroom floor, pre-logged in a manila envelope on 11/19. It was the item submitted from bedroom floor. DNA swabs. What? Okay. Is there any other F2s? Well, let's see what that result brought us. Nope, just a submitted swab from F2 bedroom floor. So why are they saying in this document that lab item 3 is John Showalter and Cole Beringberger's DNA? There you go. There you freaking go. There's your answer, folks. Why are these 2 individuals in this document listed on item 3, and obviously the suspect and subjects were 4 blank names? I'll wait for an answer. I'll wait for an answer. Does anybody know? Because I'm going to show you the next thing that will blow you freaking away. Item number 4 on the state's exhibit list. This is the state's exhibit list. And item number 3 was John Jack Showalter and Cole Beringberger. Item number 4. Let me just type it in. Item 4. Let me see if it'll pop up this way. Oh, here it is. Item number 4 was John Showalter, right there. MPD 624. Well, let's go over to MPD and see what item 624 is. 624, just to reference to make sure we are on the right track. 624 is 621. Oh, wow. Look at this. Item 624 is S and R. The first name is S and R, Showalter, MC Prince. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, lab item 4 is John Showalter's prints. And this was swab from where, folks? A submitted swab from debris and F3 bedroom floor. What is F3? Is that the 3rd floor? Floor 1, floor 2, floor 3? Interesting. Oh, who is Kohberger, you ask? That is a great question. A lot of people are like, who is this guy? Well, let me just share with you who he is. Bar manager, digital marketing, was in class with Maddie, culinary specialist, U.S. Army. He was a weapons, knife expert, worked at Big 5 Sporting Goods, was working at Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories, University Marketing, Bachelor of Operations and Management and Supervision. He was there at the time of this atrocity. And guess when he left? He left in December of 2022. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Is that right? Yeah, that's true. That is true. Right there in black and white. Black and white. Oh, who's John Showalter? Jack? Jack. Why was Jack's swabs, fingerprints, on the 3rd floor at 1122 King Road? Why were they there? Was that Kaylee's Jack? John Jack Showalter? Is that even possible? I'm asking you a question. John was a member of Delta Tau Delta fraternity. He went to Boise Senior High School. Right there. University of High School, worked at Flatbread Pizza, Napolitan Pizzeria in Boise. Was in charge of all back house cleaning, cooking, and prep. Interesting. Very interesting. And when you look at the documents, it's all right here in front of us. All right here. And yes, they were surveillancing all of them in Boise. This is where the case took them. But interesting enough, what a lot of people fail to understand is look at this date. This evidence was accepted on the 11/18/2022. House cleaning? How can you house clean with swabs left there and debris? How can you explain away your DNA was there other than, oh, we partied? How in the world does anyone get away with this? I mean, we could do another dig real quick and we can look at some other, we could go and look and see what some other items that the lab had in possession. If you look at this, I could drop a big bombshell right now if you guys are interested. Type a 1 if you want a big bombshell. Type a 1. Let me go look at item 38. I have this marked for a reason. Item 38. Keep hitting that like button, folks. Keep hitting that like button. Item 38. Submitted swabs from agency number 264, MPD. Well, let's bring up MPD and look at 264. And yes, I've been sitting on this for a while, waiting to see if anyone was going to talk about it, and they haven't. Like I said, I don't have to be the first. Oh, shit. Item 264 was a blood swab. Here is your fireball.
Phoenix rise, I'm dropping truth like a flame. Burning through the lies, never playing the same. Fireball spit heat, watch the sparks ignite. 10 seconds of real, light up the night.
All right. Item 264 was a blood swab. Well, let's go back over to, it was item 38 by the state. And let's go and look up item 38 on the exhibit list. And let's see what that item 38 was. Oh, shit. Item 38 was MPD item 264 at 500 Queen Road. You can't make this shit up. Money can buy you almost anything, folks. Even a get out of freaking jail for free card. So forgive me if I get a little spicy. All the info was here. Do we want to look at anything else? Do you want me to give you the big, huge fireball today? That was nothing. Or you know what? I'll save it for this afternoon. Because I know you love a good, spicy, hot live that I'm going to give you with receipts. If you all enjoy this content, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'm not done yet. We have got to get this case reopened. If you have not written the DOJ, if you have not written your senator, your state, Idaho's state, please, in fact, right now, go to Justice for All. I have got to get enough donations to keep this website going for Brian Kohberger. I do not know him. All I do is back the Innocent Project. I believe people with autism are being framed everywhere you look. Send them a postcard. Sign the petition. It is right here on this website, along with all the autism documents. Please consider sending a letter. This website will give you every single thing you need to write a letter to the DOJ, contact the Autism Innocent Project, contact, there's the petition, contact anyone in charge. This Innocent Project needs to be looked at. This is the petition. We only have 73 signatures. If you hit the like button, it only takes one click to sign your name. This is going directly to the Attorney General, Raw Labrador, which I have written. It will go to Donald Trump since he made a Truth Social post about it. And it will go to the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi. All these people have doubted Brian's guilt from the moment they took him into custody. It's never made sense. The media's instant portrayal of him just seemed like a scam, and how many people accused him immediately. I've never seen anything like this. They just never thought we would put the pieces together or read for ourselves or cross-reference what they didn't want us to know. I appreciate you too, Marion M5311. Whoever you are, I see you. I hear you. I don't know who you are. I can only imagine. I've made a couple guesses, but I hear you. An innocent person could be framed for something such as this. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care. Justice is for everyone, whether you're rich, not rich, or poor. Justice is for all. That is what our four founding fathers wrote in the Constitution. Justice for all. FOURALL. I know my amazing mods will throw it in the chat. I know they got my back. And you know what? I also know I'm not afraid to speak truth. Putting links in each video would be helpful. I will do that today. I will go back and I will go on the website. And if you have anything that you want, I will do that. Just ask. Sometimes all you have to do is ask. So was this forensic DNA missing? No, it was right in the documents. Phoenix, you said it was found at 500 Queens Road. Whose address is that? Well, I do know that there's only one document that mentions 500 Queen Road, and his father rented the apartment. That's the only one I know at 500 Queen Road. But if you go back and look at lab item 38, just like I showed you on the lab 264 MPD, 264 was a blood swab. That'll give you enough information. I mean, we can look at another one. Lab item 39, swab 261 from the scene. 261 was another blood swab. 261 related back to item 38. Item 38, we can go and look and see what it is. I mean, we can do a live dig all day long. Somebody needs to investigate this. Somebody needs to open this back up. Someone needs to take a look at this. Item number 38 was submitted swabs from the scene. They put names on this. You want to see something that will blow you away? They put names on there. Anyone can go and cross-reference these three documents and find the information. Anyone can do that. You know what? I'm going to give you a really good one. I have L4, item 4.1. 4.1 is on my list. Let's see what item 4.1 is. I think it was 18 exemplars, 18 types of one person's DNA. Let me go and look at 4.1 again. Sometimes I just write down numbers and I totally forget to put a little synopsis. But let me go and see what 4.1 is. Leighton 4.0, yes, okay, L2. L2. And why did they even tell Spokane? You know what? I think I've got a screenshot of this. Let me grab it. They had to go to Spokane, Washington and ask for prints. Here it is. Let me see what page that is. 631. Okay. Leighton prints. 5.1 and here it is. And you know, I don't understand, and this is just something that I'll show you in a court document. I don't understand page 621, 630. Let me go to page 630. This is from the forensic documents. They even took feet. Okay. They even took feet. 630. So let me tell you what this is. Item 4 and item 5.1, they were right and left exemplars. They know the last name spelled. They know whose evidence this is. They put their names on this evidence, folks. They just redacted it so we wouldn't know who it is. Now, this is the actual, hold on a minute, it's got to refresh. This is the actual information where they got these prints from. Kitchen window, rear window, side window. They wrote L2 all over this. Okay, L2 are the fingerprints. So let's go back to the analysis of these L2. And they basically say the last name is blank, and they've put it in a new document, M20224843. And I thought, man, I've seen this number before. I've got really good eyesight, by the way. A memory recall. I've seen this number before, and sure enough, it was in this document. It was in the court documents. It said that Kohberger was excluded from this particular sample, which identified as a mixture of item number 4, report M20224843. Thus, the government has the burden to prove the when and how the DNA was identified in Q1. Whoa. What did I tell you in the beginning of this stream is that missing evidence, DNA, to save face, if they're wrong, then the investigation looks bad. Careers, reputations, election, a lot is on the line. Once they pick their person that doesn't fit, it starts to look like a problem instead of a clue. In high profile cases, there's a pressure to make arrest fast. And we've seen this. We've seen they waited 4 days to make a press conference. They waited 7 weeks to arrest someone. That pressure to arrest someone doesn't always mix well with patience and humility, folks. It doesn't. Humans don't like being wrong. Once people are locked in, they tend to defend their first belief instead of saying, oh, we've made a mistake. We've made a mistake. What do you think the biggest reason is people hide evidence? Is it ego, pressure, laziness, or is it truly corruption? Which one is it? Ego, pressure, laziness, or corruption? Amanda, a lot of you are getting stockings full of coal and reindeer dropping cookies. Christmas is canceled. Hit the like button and he will change his mind. I love it. Corruption. All three. Corruption. If this case was to go to trial, people's careers would be ended. Bill Thompson. Corruption. Amanda, you've got some love. I'm not here to tell you the grandpa had huge roots in Washington and Idaho. Very true. Very true. You and I both know that we are only here for truth and justice. That is the American way. Have you ever changed your mind about someone after seeing more evidence? I have never had so many more people say, oh my God, I swore he was guilty. They had it ingrained. We were mind washed. We were mind fricked. I'm telling you, anyone who has been brainwashed by this case needs to have a freaking mind wash. You need your mind to be washed. What looks from the outside, all these red flags, I'm going to give you a check brain, a checklist brain. Spotting trouble in any case. And I'm talking about the Idaho 4, the Delphi, Karen Reed, all the other ones that are out there. Brian Walsh. Okay? Huge gaps in timeline. I showed you a case yesterday that is a factual, true case. that showed collocation, GPS, cell phone data, all these things. All these things. Hours of a case where nobody explains what was checked was ruled out or what cameras were pulled. Witnesses who change or vanish or change their statements, people who originally said one thing but their statements disappear, get summarized, or never make it into the reports. Evidence that appears only in summaries, missing factual reports. I've told you there are thousands of documents missing in this case. Thousands, in my humble opinion. Alleged. And I can show you how vicious it is. And yes, I heard last night there was a Nancy Grace episode. Thank you for my trusty mod, Les, looking after me. And I wanted to review that Nancy disgrace. Oh, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. The people we trust. The people we trust. Should we trust? Would you continue to trust? I just don't know. Sometimes I just wonder. Sometimes I just have to think for myself and say, if you see something in a narrative, but never in the raw lab work or forensics like I just showed you, that is very concerning. I am so concerned with our justice system. Because when you see that Ann Taylor was screaming about discovery issues 21 times, yes, folks, 21 times, 7 times, the state was in contempt of not giving what she was asking for. Truly. Ann Taylor was over there with the bullhorn. What you see, the defense filing all these motions after motions for discovery, it's a sign that things were off, things were being delayed. Help, someone pay attention. I could see her. I could see her from the court steps screaming, I'm against a system that's against my client because he's factually innocent. I could see it. I could totally see it. When you look at big cases, I'm going to ask you, chat, what red flags jump out at you the most? Is it timeline, DNA, witnesses, or all these discovery fights with the prosecution? Which one? Timeline, DNA, witnesses, or discovery fights? Do you think the public should get to see more raw discovery in high-profile cases? Because I do. I totally do. 8 hours, Betty Blue 908. Yes, 8 hours. We don't have a justice system. It's scary to know. Scary to think. No wonder why a high-profile lawyer didn't take the case. I agree 100%. She was out of the loop once she decided to defend BK. Yep, because even the judge put a protection order against her to protect the university. Whatever she learned, she could not share. She could not use. All of the above. All of the above. There you go. Look at what they did with Plaskett. All of the above. How hidden evidence gets exposed? How does the evidence get exposed? Innocent, ordinary grandmas, moms, autism moms. That's how. YouTube? They didn't expect us to read the documents and put it together. They didn't expect it. They didn't. Because here's the deal. This is how we unmask what's hidden. Appeals and post-conviction teams can go in and help Kohberger. Years later, New lawyers will dig into boxes, lab packets, notes, dispatch logs, and they find things the jury never saw. Well, how about we speed this process up? Public records and FOIAs, that's what we all are doing. I've requested so many documents, it's not funny. Emails, lab documents, unedited reports, they can show big differences from a glossy narrative they've given us. They sold it to us. I didn't buy it. There's other people that don't buy it. Innocent projects, journalists who cover true journalism, investigative journalism, they can get out there. There's some of the biggest wrongful convictions that were exposed, not by the system, but by innocent people outside the system. This is how we do it. New science, an old bite mark hair, junk science gets replaced. New testing shows the old evidence was wrong. Hello, we have it right now in the palm of our hands. We have AI. Now, I'm not a big fan of AI, but they have AI. Why can't AI go through this and decipher this guy's innocent? Why didn't they use it in this case? Would you trust the Innocent Project to review the original investigation? Yes or no? Or 3, it depends. 1, yes. 2, no. 3, it depends. Would you trust the Innocent Project to look at this case? I mean, I could do a future live about how wrongful convictions get overturned, but I've done one before that finally people are now starting to talk about this. I mean, when innocent evidence is hidden, it's not just one person being hurt. It's the whole system lying to itself. I care about fairness. I care about due process. I care about your constitutional rights. I care about my own. It's not winning. It's about our people. You are my people. That's what I care about. If it's you, if that's you, and you care, make sure you do like and subscribe, folks. Even when it feels uncomfortable, because at some time, one of you, just like many in the past, have reached out to me and said, help me get this story out here. I can't believe this is happening to my family. My brother, self-defense, is now facing life in prison. Went to trial, and the jury found him not guilty. That's how you get involved before things happen like this. Nona, Robin, thank you so much. Thank you. Everyone, thank Nona. We will keep going. We will expose the truth. We will continue to share. What you can do, and I understand not all of you can donate, what you can do is share this with someone. Share this live. Share the information. Share it. One person will lead to the next and lead to the next. It will get to the right person that needs to see this. It will. Thank God they took the death penalty off the table. They would have put an innocent man to death through the needle or the gun. We have got to start looking out for one another, especially when we're up against these people that could make something like this go missing. See, we don't worship evidence. On this channel, we don't worship narratives. All of it. We look at all the details, whether it's uncomfortable or not. Let's listen to Nancy Disgraced. Even though I don't want to. But I want you to understand. She was on last night saying that Kohberger was contesting a plea deal. And that's not the case. That was not the truth. Because she didn't watch the hearings like we did. Never. She didn't. She didn't. I guarantee you she didn't. She would have understood what they were arguing against. It was the 26 bogus thousands of dollars that she that the families wanted in addition. And I wish somebody would just slap her with a wet noodle and say, wake up. Wake up to the fact that he is innocent. Now, Steve G was on last night. And they were contesting this new movie. And let's just watch a little bit of it. I don't expect you to hang around to watch the whole thing. If you've watched it, awesome. I want to just show you a little part of it. And let me throw this up on the stage. You guys are freaking amazing. Every single one of you. All right, let's watch a little portion of this. Oh, I got to take that off.
Kohberger is balking at paying for the victim's urns and other expenses.
I'm sorry, but $3,000 for the urns, is that the going rate these days for a life? If he's afforded these comforts of ramen, toiletries, different treats with his commissary, why should he get more comforts than the victims were ever afforded?
Kohberger is contesting restitution. That was part of the deal. Then the deal is off. Breaking news tonight. Brian Kohberger is contesting his plea deal, reneging on some of the orders in exchange for life over the death penalty. Can the case now go to trial amidst a lifetime Idaho 4 movie outrage? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Brian Kohberger pled guilty to 4 murders. They were worse than murders. They were slaughters of 4 innocent college students, University of Idaho. Straight out to Annie Elise, host of Seriously, Annie. Kohberger is welching on a major tenet of his plea deal. Under the law, Annie, that would be like me sentencing you to 20 years on armed robbery. And you have to elocute in court exactly what happened. We do the deal, and then you refuse to elocute. Okay, deal's off. What is he contesting? Paying for funeral expenses?
It seems to me like it's all about back to control. He doesn't seem to like any of the inconveniences that are happening now that he's behind.
Okay, I just have to stop that. I cannot stand her. I would not get up there and just lie and continue to play that game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right to the portion where Nancy brings on SG.
Tonight, 2 special guests, the parents of Kelly Gonsalves, Christy and Steve. Christy and Steve, thank you for being with us. First, listen to this.
So you took advantage of the plea agreement to get the benefit of the bargain regarding the state's dropping of the death penalty. Why should you not be held to the plea agreement to pay the victims the costs of interning their children?
Judge, I believe that our pleading was clear, that we understood that burns fell underneath a funeral cost, but that once we have a hearing on this matter, that doesn't eliminate the court's duty under 1953-04 to do the ability to pay analysis. And that's why.
Well, are you in violation of the plea agreement by arguing that your client shouldn't have to pay those?
And more from the judge.
What's the point of the plea agreement on restitution if the defense is able to argue against the restitution called for in the plea agreement itself?
At this hour, Kohberger has been contesting paying funeral expenses on the 4 students he murdered. That's bad enough. But here's the question. If he's reneging on the deal, then the deal is off, and this case can go to trial if the prosecutor has the backbone to do it, which I doubt. Straight out to Christy and Steve Gonsalves joining us. Christy, you got a shocking letter from the prosecutor. Christy, could you explain what the letter says?
Well, basically, it says that the travel expense part of the restitution cannot be paid via the defendant's restitution, so we can civilly sue him for it, which is just, we're exhausted, and now this is just.
The quality of the build inside is.
Sorry, y'all. I forgot. I totally forgot that I forgot to go in and update my payment for premium. So I apologize. I so apologize. Hold on. I'll do that. I have been so busy.
Christy, can I paraphrase what you just said? You can sue Kohberger. That's what the prosecution is offering the mother of a murdered girl. I'm not going to handle it, but you know what? You can go hire a lawyer, Christy, and you can pay the lawyer to sue Brian Kohberger. Let's take a look at this letter. It says, it says, "Dear gentlemen," he can't even write your name. Attached is a copy of the court's order on state's request for restitution. Copies of restitution orders for your client's funeral-related expenses. It tells you to look at footnote 1 at the bottom of page 1. We were not able to pursue travel expenses. What we were not able to pursue. Steve Gonzalez, what does that mean? When the prosecutor writes you basically a form letter referring to you and your wife and others as "dear gentlemen," when I get something like that, I assume it's a bill collector. The state, in other words, him, was not able to pursue your travel expenses where you had to leave your job and your home and drive 7 hours and hole up in a hotel to be in court. They were, quote, not able to pursue that from you. Kohberger has 5 figures sitting in his commissary account. He will make a movie deal. It's allowed under the law in Idaho. He will write a book, but they did not pursue those expenses for you, Steve?
No, right off the get-go, we said that this deal, the plea deal could be done, but it has to be done correctly. And I didn't think he had the skill level to do it correctly. That's why we pretty much demanded that the attorneys generals get involved. And, that was the best option we could have. But yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he's over his head. He's a boomer that's literally was trying to retire before this case even happened. And he's mentally retired. So we're the ones losing thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to his mistakes. And it's embarrassing for the state of Idaho. And I mean, we did everything for that courtroom so that they could get the resources and they could get the attention. And we just couldn't get him out of that room. And that really is what's hurting this case, is we have Thompson in there just dropping the ball repeatedly over and over and literally admitting it. Like, I totally screwed up. Not apologizing, but just saying, I screwed up. I mean, because it's clearly obvious, the whole world's watching.
After raising 3 kids and 8 grand.
Okay, go one more time. Dang it.
Out of it. But we've been bringing attention to this from the very beginning, that there was, we talked about his office leaking information because we knew where the information was coming from, but nobody ever investigated it. Nobody even came to our family and said, how did you guys know that they were leaking information? Nobody's interviewed us to this day.
Can I ask you, how you know it was the prosecutor's office that was leaking the info? Remember, there was going to be a big investigation and then it just disappeared?
There's a couple different ways, and I won't get into it on an open microphone like this. But if you go and look how Ann knew to subpoena my lawyer and our family and what we were discussing, basically, if you reverse that back, you're going to figure out that somebody in that room told Ann that we were talking about one of the witnesses and we knew information about her. So she knew to subpoena our lawyer and the conversations that we were having with just his office. So how does Ann know? How does she even know that she should be requesting the communication
Emails.
from our personal lawyer to them?
What, Christy?
Emails. She was requesting all emails from our attorney, Shannon Gray, our family, regarding this witness.
It doesn't matter. That's the rule of law. When you are going to trial and you have discovery, you can ask for bank statements, email, text, conversation. It doesn't matter who the witness was that could put Brian there. It doesn't matter. You, as a defense attorney, I mean, they could have eventually put a subpoena in for their own finances, Mr. and Mrs. Goncalves.
And it was like, okay.
And the only time you discussed that was with reps from the DA's office?
Exactly. Yes. Those are the only people we communicated with officially. And we didn't talk to anyone else about.
So were they saying that they were the leak? Did they just admit this?
What we had heard. We had just heard it within probably 48 hours. So
we went to them concerned and went to them about it.
He says, and I'm quoting, as we previously submitted response to the court, we believe the Crime Victims Compensation would be able to reimburse travel and accommodation expenses after the fact. Then we learned that wasn't correct.
Let me ask you guys in the chat. 30 years as a district attorney in dealing with crime victims compensation, and not one time in 30 years had they have anyone ask for travel accommodation expenses that were from a maybe a couple counties over away, that they were prosecuting a county case and it got moved out of one county to another. Are you telling me that question has never been asked? Can you pay me for my travel? I mean, if it was my child that was murdered, I would be expected to pay out of my pocket. I'm not going to ask anyone else to pay for my way.
So they entered into a deal before they even knew whether you could get reimbursed for all that?
That's what it sounds like to me.
On a Sunday, after talking to us on Friday. I mean, these guys didn't do much work at all.
So all these two are really complaining about is money.
But now they're working on their Sundays to basically.
Is that what I understand, y'all, in the chat? Is that what they're really arguing about, is money?
Throw the case away. It's disgusting.
The last sentence in this letter makes me just want to chew a nail in half. Quote, at this point it appears there are no remaining outstanding legal issues in the criminal case, other than ongoing review of previously sealed documents for possible public release. Sincerely, William W. Thompson, Jr.
They gave us all the evidence, y'all. They gave us every single document that I requested in the forensics. I showed you my FOIA request. What else do they want? They're not hiding anything. They've shared it with the public. It's up to the public to read the document.
Remaining issues?
I thought that was very weird.
No condolences, no sympathy, no empathy, no anything. I mean, this is basically a form letter covering his rear end.
I was very surprised to see how it ended. When I read that last sentence too, I was like, wow, that's how we're going to end it. No further problems. If you guys want to get a civil lawyer, you could sue him on your own separately. But
Yeah. He's
we're
saying
done.
I'm very
washing my
curious.
hands.
Why do you believe? What could the possible motivation be? I have a theory that someone in the prosecution's office that you were speaking with, and I can only assume that you went straight to the top, discussing issues with a trial witness. And then within hours, the defense attorney suddenly wants to subpoena your lawyer's documents about conversations regarding that witness. All I can think of is that the prosecution, Thompson, wanted to further along a plea deal by releasing potentially damning evidence on a witness.
That's what we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you connect the dots, you can see
What do
what's
you mean
going
by
on.
that?
Because the information that we had for them was damning to BK. So
The information they had for them. Who put this witness? Are they talking about Molly McMichael? Are they talking about her being the witness? Or are they talking about Dylan? Who are they talking about? Yeah, I would agree, Marion. We do need to voice our opinions, just like I voiced the other day on Brian Enton's crap.
certain things people want to leak to scare people, to intimidate them, to let them think that there's more going on than what is, or just letting them know that you've got some information that they're not completely privy to. So I obviously something was going on, because she knew to ask for our communications, and it just makes no sense how she would know that. This whole case has just been so hard to deal with. I mean, and all we did was demand that whoever was in that courtroom, that they just did their best job every single day. And I remember telling Thompson, because I was warned that he wasn't the man who could get this job done. So I just said, hey, if you're not, if you're checked out, if you want to retire, I get it. I respect it. You worked your whole life. You're 70-some years old. You don't want it. Step away. Step away, and
Is
we'll go
somebody
find
else in?
somebody. We'll go get someone.
This is the
Is that why they asked for a new prosecutor? Did they not want to penalty? They wanted to get rid of that death penalty. Is that what happened?
But he didn't want the work.
Christy and Steve, the fact that Kohberger is contesting issues within
He didn't contest. It was the law that he could question this.
the plea.
And look, they were asking for 26 or something, 20K in reimbursement for travel and this and that. And they came in on the court date and they basically narrowed it down to $3,000 because they knew they were wrong to ask for that
deal. That's not the banner. The important part of this, we know he's contesting paying restitution. Could that rescind?
How did they even get BK's name? How in the world did they get his name for Steve G to get out there and scream from the holy heavens that they wanted the death penalty against this guy? Why? What was the connection? Is it possibly these 4 things? Is it more that was involving Kaylee like we talked about yesterday? What was it that made them come up with his name?
Renege the plea deal. Because if he is backing out of conditions of the plea deal, then the deal is off. Have you considered this could take the case to trial if Kohberger himself is refusing to pay restitution as ordered in the plea deal?
Well, when you bring it up to our attention like that, with your knowledge of how courtrooms run and what has happened, I would love for that to happen, but I feel like it's all just games and none of it is taken serious. Like, oh, he doesn't want to pay his restitution. Slap, slap, slap. You can't do that. Pay your restitution, move on. Not, you did a huge thing. You violated the plea deal. There's no, second chances. We're going to trial. It's all game. It's just all the defense game. I mean, it's just games all the way around. I just feel like it's just never ending. And now we're left with, well, you could civilly sue. And that's just so frustrating. It's like, you know what, we're out, a lot of money with everything. The last thing we want to do is sue and just be dragged into more and more court. We were just hoping that they could handle it. The state could handle it on our behalf. So it would be nice to say you violated the plea deal. So we're going to trial.
Well, this is what it boils down to, Steve. Let's look at this. So I take a plea deal, 20 to serve. All right. And the defendant then goes, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do 20. Well, then the deal is off. Paying your restitution is an important part of that deal. And if Kohberger contests it, fine. I'd be mad if he didn't. Now let's go to trial. That is possible. He's reneging on the deal. That's on him. So what we would have to do is get Thompson off this case. He can't try this case. Someone else, an independent prosecutor, would have to try it.
Which would be great.
I would love to see that. I would see that. And per that letter.
Crap. I can't go in and pay for this while I'm watching it. So give me a second. Need to upgrade that by the time I get off this live. Hold on. And I'll edit this out. Here we go.
He doesn't respect the investigation that Hitler's doing. He didn't say that was still going on. He said, we're done. We're over. He has no fear of Hitler's investigation because he holds all the cards. He has all the power. So I would love for an independent person to come in and look at it. And we're talking about this guy has been trying to control the narrative, PK, from the very beginning. The minute he even got in prison, he started writing up complaints and started doing formalities and saying, you're going to transfer me, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. We got to just put our foot down to these kind of psychopath killers and stop entertaining them and stop treating them with baby gloves. It's just disgusting. And we're doing it all the way up 3 years later. We're still entertaining. And
still doing it. Question, have either you or Christy reached out to the feds to take this case?
Steve has talked to them.
I have talked to the feds. It's been a while since I have, but they're the ones that told me Thompson wasn't even ready for this. They're like, don't go with this guy. This is not gonna end well. But they also at the same time told me we're not going to give you the death penalty either. So I tried to pick the lesser of the two evils, and I was saying, well, at least I get the death penalty in Idaho, and I assist him. I was just let down by a prosecutor who just was already retired, and I didn't know it.
Steve and Christy Gonzalez joining us tonight on top of these revelations in this cold-blooded form letter from the prosecutor to them saying, yeah, you're not going to ever get your money back. That's insult to injury. The money, yeah, they're out a lot of money, thousands of dollars. They're out their daughter. They are out their daughter. Their daughter was horribly murdered. And we didn't know the truth about what happened to Kelly until after the secret plea deal goes down. And now they're getting another gut punch from a made-for-TV movie. And this is what their daughter, Olivia, has to say.
Hi, so that's not iconic. You're young, so maybe you don't know. But I've looked at the past stuff you've done, and I think you know. There's have one, but
how about all the defamation that she's done to Kohberger? What about all that defamation?
But if you'd like one, maybe you should just think about it. Maybe you should just think about if Kaylee was your sister. Maybe you should just think about what you put out into the world. like dancing around in between scenes. Maybe you should think about the projects that you take on. Maybe you should think that if you lay with dogs, you might get fleas. So, yeah, maybe you should just think. You look like you might be capable of it.
That's from @OliviaGonsalves on TikTok. And ever since she first opened her mouth, I knew.
That girl is, in fact, what a mean girl looks like, in my humble opinion. Do you think? Do you think?
That she's a champion.
I don't know what happened. Did I cut out? I mean, I have the right to voice my own opinion. It is the freedom of speech. And she's no queen, in my humble opinion. But I will say this. Whatever they have to say on the rest of that Nancy Grace, you can go watch on your own at your leisure. And yeah, how's the Samantha thing going, right? Samantha, I think I've talked to her behind the scenes, and I think that she is just pray for Samantha, guys. Pray for those who've been injured by this case. Pray for those victims. Pray for answers to come out, and pray for the missing information to be revealed to every single one of us that look into this case. Because I think, honestly, humbly, they never expected anyone to look at the evidence, at the 3 documents that cross-reference each other that tell the truth. They never expected someone to do that, ever. They just figured everybody was too busy to look at something that was unjust. And when you think about justice, what do you think? Do you think when innocent evidence is hidden, it's just not one person being hurt? Think about it. Look at all these families that have been hurt by hidden evidence. It means that the real offenders are walking your streets. Those offenders might date your daughter. They might become your son-in-laws. And the system is continuing to lie to itself. Moscow, Idaho, should they be ashamed of themselves? ? Should they set the record straight? ? Drop your thoughts. Leave a lot of love for our mods here today. Thank you for all those who have donated. Beth, we appreciate you. Marion, I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. Jennifer, becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Consider becoming a member, subscribe and like. And Nona, our top dog today. We will keep going. We will get the truth exposed. And we appreciate you for being here today. Y'all, give all you got at the end of this live. Be well.
Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation in a world of facades. We peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. By case, we break the cage. Thought by thought, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.